Joomla is one of the most popular content management systems, also known as a CMS. It's one of three of the most popular content management systems out on the internet, those being Drupal, Joomla, and WordPress. Joomla seems to be the middle ground of all the content management systems. Here in this video, I'll show you how to install it by obtaining all the necessary pieces you'll need to install it on your computer. Let's get started. Go ahead and open up your favorite browser and navigate to www.wampserver.com/en. Here you're going to be downloading the pieces that are required for Joomla to run. This particular software package comes with Apache, PHP, and MySQL. Apache is the web server, PHP is the language that Joomla is written in, and MySQL is the database where you're going to house all the data for your website. What you're going to want to do is click on the download button, and this will scroll you down on the page. Here you have the option of installing either the 32-bit or 64-bit options for WAMP Server. If you have a modern computer, more than likely you're going to have the 64-bit. If you have an older machine, you can use the 32-bit. Now, if you don't know what version of what operating system version you have, you simply go to the Windows Start button, right-click it, go to System, and here you're going to see I'm running Windows 10 64-bit operating system here. Now, don't get confused because there's a couple of things here that you might be running a 64-bit processor, but your operating system might be 32. Make sure when you're reading this, it says 64-bit operating system. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here. And since I'm running a 64-bit operating system, I'm going to go ahead and install the 64-bit option here by clicking on it. Now here, there's a little link that just says download directly. I'm going to click on that. That redirects me to SourceForge.net. This will download momentarily. So here we have WAMP Server downloading. I've already downloaded this to my computer earlier just to save on the time it takes to record this video. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. I'm actually going to open up File Explorer, and here you can see WAMP has already been downloaded on my computer. Now, as you can see, there's several other packages in here, other stuff that we're going to need. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next piece that we need. We're going to go to the Joomla website by going to www.joomla.org. Now, from here, we're going to want to go ahead and click on the Get Started Download button here. Just go ahead and click on that, and you're presented with several options. If you've never installed Joomla, what you're going to want to do is click on this blue button here that says Download Joomla 3.6. Now that's the most current version at the time of this recording. If you do have previous versions of Joomla, you're going to want to download and install the upgrade packages. If you don't want to install this on your local computer, you can also try a demo on the Joomla.org website just to kind of get a feel for Joomla. But since this video is on installing Joomla, we're going to go ahead and click on the Download Joomla button. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And as you can see, it's also downloading. It's pretty quick depending on your internet speed. But since I've already downloaded it, I'm going to go ahead and cancel. And here you go. Here's my latest version that I've installed, that I've downloaded on my computer. And there's other stuff that you're going to need before you can actually install WAMP Server. It's these packages here. Now, these packages will be provided to you by a link once we try to install WAMP Server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to File Explorer here. I'm going to right-click the WAMP Server installation package, and I'm going to make sure that I run as an administrator. Here I'm going to go click on Yes and select the language during the installation. If you want to choose a different language, you can choose to do so. I'm going to go ahead and stick with English and click OK. So here we have the license agreement for WAMP Server. I'm going to go ahead and click on the accept the agreement and click next. So here's the information window that is provided for you to download the additional necessary Windows redistributable packages that are required for WAMP Server to install correctly. Now if you scroll down, you're going to be provided with the links for the VC9 packages 2008, 2012, 2012, 2013, and the 2015. What I've done is I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way, and I created folders by just right-clicking anywhere here, go to New, and clicking Folder, and you can just type in 2008. The point of it is that the packages that you're going to download are all named similarly. Let's take a look real quick. As you can see, this is the name for the 2008 package. When I go to the 2010, you can see the name is very similar, or if not identical. And if I do the same thing for the rest, you'll see the same thing. So what I've done is I've created these folders to keep these packages separated so that I don't override them as I'm downloading the additional packages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you the first example. Now these right here, the top one is the 32-bit, the bottom one is 64-bit, and that's the same for some of the other ones. In some cases, on the page that you go to, you'll see both options on that page. But since I have the 64-bit on my machine, I'm going to go ahead and click on this bottom link for the 2008 package. And you might have to click once or twice just to get it going. Okay, so now here we go, the 2008, make sure that it says 2008, and I'll click download. And as you can see, it's downloading already. I'm going to go ahead and click on cancel since I've already downloaded it. I'm going to go to the File Explorer, and if you haven't changed your download location, it should be here. And what you want to do is select that package and move it into the 2008 folder, and pretty much keep doing for the same for the rest of the packages that are required. So now that you have all the packages downloaded, you're going to want to install the first one, 2008. I'm going to right click it and run as administrator. I'm going to say yes and click next. I've read the agreements, install, and finish. I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of them. Right click, run as administrator, yes. As you can see, this one's 2010. I read the agreement, install, finish. Now for the 2012, right click it, run as administrator, click yes. 2012 package, I agree to the license terms and conditions, install, close. 2013, and as you can see, we're moving pretty quickly with these packages. Again, for the 2013, run as administrator, yes, I agree, install, close, go back to now 2015, right click it, run as administrator, yes, and again 2015 to confirm, install, and close. Now just to confirm that you've installed everything on your machine, go ahead and right click, and I should add that I'm on a Windows 10 machine, so I can just right click on the start button. This will also work on a Windows 8 machine and Windows 8.1. On Windows 7 and earlier, you can just click the start button and look for the control panel. But in this case, I just right click the start button and go to control panel. From here, you can go to uninstall a program, and you can see all the different packages that have been installed on this machine. Just to confirm that they're there, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And I'm going to go ahead and close out my browser as well. So now we have the WAMP server where we left it, and now I'm just going to go ahead and click on next. I don't need this either. Go ahead and click next. I'm going to go ahead and accept the default location Don't change the location unless you absolutely know what you're doing, and don't install the WAMP 64 program in anywhere other than the root of the drive, meaning the C drive and then the file name. If you install it in C program files, different variations, you might have problems. As a matter of fact, you will have problems, so don't do it. Leave it at default. Click next. You go ahead and click next again and click install. Now this does take a few minutes depending on the speed of your computer, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this video and come back once it finishes. Setup here is asking us whether we want Internet Explorer to be used as the browser for WAMP Server. If you have another browser installed on your machine, you can choose that as a default for WAMP Server. I actually do have several browsers on my machine, but just for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to keep it at its default. Do you want to choose another browser for this? I'm going to go ahead and click on no. Now it's asking for a text editor for WAMP Server. The default is Notepad. If you do want to use Notepad, you can use it. There's another program out on the market called Notepad++, which is a better alternative to Notepad. In this case, again, to keep it simple, I'm just going to click on no. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on next. But before we do, the PHPMyAdmin, the tool that you're going to use to administrate your databases, the username for that is root, and the default password is blank, meaning there's no password, so you wouldn't type anything in other than just leaving it as an empty box. I'm going to go ahead and click on next and finish. And if you have no issues, it should finish just like that. Now, I've actually seen it before where I've started before by itself. Right here at the very bottom corner, you'd see an icon, but in this case it hasn't. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this icon that's been installed on your desktop and double clicking on that, click yes, and here we go. Again, now that it's running, it should be green and all services should be shown as running. To test it out, what we're going to do is we're going to left click the icon here on the bottom right corner, and we're going to go to localhost. And then if everything's good, you should see this page. So now that we've confirmed that WAMP Server is properly installed and running, we can go ahead and go to the installation of Joomla. I'm going to go again back to File Explorer. I'm going to navigate to my Downloads folder, and here you can see I have Joomla 3.6. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this package, this zip file, go to my Z drive, go to WAMP 64. I'm going to go to the www folder, and here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click and paste this file. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a folder called Joomla. Now this folder can be called anything you want. This is your website. If you're using it to create your business website, you can just use the business name there. Anything you want. It can be anything you want it to be. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this zip file inside the Joomla directory. Now I'm going to go inside the Joomla directory. From here, I'm going to right click the zip file and say extract all. As you can see, the path here is your www Joomla path that you've created. This last portion you don't have to worry about. Matter of fact, what you're going to want to do is delete this part right here, and this is the folder where we're going to extract the contents to. So now we're just going to say go ahead and extract it. Now again, depending on the speed of your computer, this will go very quickly or it might take a few minutes. While this is unzipping, I'm going to go ahead and unpause this video. If the extraction process went well, the window should just disappear, and now you should be seeing all these folders and files here in the Joomla directory that we created. Since we've already unzipped this package here, we don't need the zip file anymore, so we can right click it and hit delete. And now we have the full installation of Joomla here. What we're going to want to do now is go back to our browser, and from here you're going to provide the name of the folder you just created. In my case, it's Joomla, and hit enter. Here is the Joomla installation page. What you're going to want to do is, one, provide a name. So this is just my Joomla test site. That's what I'm going to go ahead and call it, Joomla test site. You can provide a description. You can also enter your email address. In this case, I'm just going to say someone@yahoo.com, just for demonstration purposes. Administrator name, I'm going to go ahead and put in my name. And here you really want to use something long, not just something simple. But again, for this demonstration purpose, I'm going to go ahead and keep it simple. Password, again, very critical. This is the password that's going to have full access to your website. In a production environment, if you're going to be putting this on the internet, you want to make sure that your password is long and complicated. Don't use a simple password. And I'm going to go ahead and confirm that password. And I'm going to leave the site offline to no. Click on next. Now this is the database connectivity page. I'm going to leave the database type at its default value. The host name, I'm going to leave it again to the default value. Username, here we're going to need the root username for the database, and password is going to be blank. Again, this is bad practice, but this is for your local development environment. Database name, we're going to have to go ahead and create a database. So what we're going to do is, before we move on to the next page for Joomla, we're going to open up a new tab, go back to localhost. At the bottom here, you're going to see a link for phpMyAdmin. Click on that. Here's your phpMyAdmin administration page. We're going to go ahead and type in root. And since there's no password, I'm just going to go ahead and click on go. Here we can go ahead and create a new database by going to database. I'm going to go ahead and type in the name of my database. I'm just going to type in Joomla. For the collation, I'm going to scroll down all the way to UT8 General CI. So this is the database correlation that you need for Joomla. And I'm going to go ahead and click on create. Okay, so now on the left you're going to see the database that you've created. Now we can go back to the Joomla web installer. Here we're going to go ahead and type in Joomla. The table prefix is randomly generated. You're going to want to leave that alone. And since there's nothing there in the database, we've just created it. This is pretty much pointless. Just if you had any information in the database, this would remove it, and this program would actually create a backup of that. But since we don't have anything, we won't do anything. We'll just go ahead and click on next. And here it looks like it's successfully connected to the database. If you want to install some additional content for Joomla so that you can kind of play around with it, you can either choose the blog, the brochure, the default English. For test English, we're going to go ahead and just use that since this is a test site. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. Email configuration set to someone@yahoo.com, which is on the first page that we typed in. There's nothing here for us to do. We're going to go ahead and scroll down. And the most critical part here is the pre-installation check. You want to make sure that all of these are green. The recommended settings we don't worry about for the moment, and we're going to go ahead and click on install. And there it is. The Joomla is now installed. So before we do actually go into the Joomla website, there's a warning here that you need to remove the installation folder. This is a security risk. So we're going to go ahead and click on this yellow orange button, remove installation folder. And now it comes back with installation folder successfully removed. Now we're going to do two things. We're going to go to the administrator site by clicking the blue button. And again, just logging in with your username and password that you've created earlier. Now here's the back end of Joomla. To see the front side, the public facing portion of the Joomla site, there's a little link here that says preview Joomla test site. We're going to go ahead and click on that, and that will open up an additional tab and show you your Joomla website. And there you go. Joomla has been installed. You have the front facing portion of it, and you have your back administration portion of it for Joomla. Thank you.